Right, Introtoxers. It's been probably for ages since I last talked to any of you in a video blog. Sorry about that, I disappeared off the face of the planet due to giant applications to uni and PhD and new MA stuff. It's insane. But now I've got a nice lull, which is good until I start uni and it might get slightly insane again. So I've been desperately trying to catch up on all things Intro to X. I'm up to Firewalker now, so I'm doing pretty well actually, I think, considering I gave myself 2 weeks to try and catch up before my guest appearance in not very long. I don't really know. You'll have to forgive the fact that I'm slightly tired. It's about 7:30 in the morning and I couldn't sleep, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to wake up and watch more X-Files, because this seems like a logical conclusion. Maybe I'm turning into a super soldier. Oh my goodness, that's why I didn't sleep. I'm so going to go and accidentally kill some people because my television told me so. If you don't hear from me, it's because I've got arrested or I've been shot. But anyway, I wanted to give some feedback because there's been lots of episodes I've seen. It's all kind of blurred into one and little bits of snippets of kind of like, well, the most important thing is Scully pregnant, Scully went away, Scully came back. Because I'm a huge Scully fan, so I pretty much watch like Scully and the X-Files with Mulder, who as a shipper is a bit weird that I don't like him that much, but when he loves Scully he's really nice. The rest of the time he's an absolute muppet or an idiot, or in 3 he's being dirty, and I still stand by the fact that 3 is awful and vampires should not be weak against English breakfast. But I think that's a rant that I'm going to have to let go. I, for one, absolutely adore the Dwayne Barry Ascension One Breath arc. I remember back in the day when X-Files was coming out in the UK and it used to come out in VHS. You know, there was no internet, there was no DVD. I remember having to get my X-Files I used to collect sci-fi magazines, and you'd make a pen pal in America. They would record it on their VHS system in America. Then they would fly the tapes over to us. We then bought NTSC, where we bought whatever the American VCR was, hooked it up onto our TV and watched the tapes. Eventually we sussed out a way of taking the film out of the VHSs, the American ones, and into a UK VHS, so it worked on UK players, because we would be mortified if we accidentally broke a piece of film and we're like, oh my goodness, how are we ever going to get this like television recorded episode of X-Files ever? It was quite the task to get X-Files back in the UK. But then eventually they started releasing video specials. So the pilot was on a video, and then Tombs and Squeeze was on a video, then Eliminara Flask, however you pronounce it, and Little Green Men, and then the special came out that was Dwayne Barry, Ascension and One Breath. And oh my god, I remember that Christmas. I was so excited. I was on my phone to my friends going, oh my goodness, X-Files pyjama party! And we watched the episodes and we're like, oh my god, most amazing event in X-Files history. I mean, we all kind of sussed out that, I suppose at the age of 12 we weren't 100% sure what was going on with Scully. We're like, oh, why is she not in this very much? And then when I rewatched it later, it's so totally obvious that she's pregnant. But at 12, I just thought something was going on. And then, oh my god, she's been adopted by aliens! Oh my goodness. Never really kind of like, yeah, didn't really register the first time round. By the 5th time round, I'd watch the series, because I'm quite hardcore. I think every 2 or 3 years, I like to rewatch the whole thing, because I love it. Greatest show ever. You should all love it too. It is the greatest show ever. I promise. I promise. Oh my goodness, this is what happens when you don't sleep much and you do full-time work and then full-time uni. You start going a bit crazy by 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning when you're meant to be asleep, but all you can think about is X-Files. I don't know, there might be subliminal messaging in my special edition box set. Ooh. Another thing, if anyone's got the box set, I mean, I've got the evidence case one. Series 2, only box set that has an 18 certificate. So officially, Series 2 is like, what the hell? I mean, you watch them and you think, what was going on when they release these things? But it was quite weird that, like, I don't know what episode has sparked off the fact that, like, ooh, Series 2 is 18, only 18's going to watch it. Bit weird, bit random. But anyway, I loved Dwayne Barry and Ascension. I like Ascension more, but as I may have mentioned, I have a little bit of a Scully in peril fetish. Every time she's kidnapped or gets a bit of blood on her face, I get a bit happy. I think I'm a freak, but you know what? My boyfriend doesn't mind, so it's okay. It was when I was a little bit older that I realised that I did have a massive crush on Scully. My friend noticed it first before me, because I remember one birthday she gave me a beautiful 8x10 of Gillian Anderson in a blue PVC dress, and she was like, "You would appreciate that." And I was like, "I do. I'm 16 now. I'm clearly bi, because I'm in love with this woman. She is amazing." But yeah, so I think that's where my little Scully in Peril fetish started up, back in series 2 of X-Files. I absolutely adore One Breath. I think it's beautiful. I love the fact that Mulder cries, because part of me laughs at him and part of me goes, "Oh my god, he loves Scully so much, he's crying for her." The rest of the time I couldn't kind of stop being distracted by Scully's giant boobs. Big boobs. But I do like the fact that Mulder made the decision to go and stay with her, and then when he comes back, it's just, he's lost. He's couldn't get anything to do with the case, he couldn't catch the men responsible, and he couldn't be there for Scully. He's just broken. So it's like, oh, poor broken Mouldy Pants. That's it, I had nicknames for them. We had Mouldy Pants and Sulky Poos. I don't know. I was young when it started and it stuck, and I'm crazy. I'm really enjoying the podcast. It's absolutely hilarious. I find myself doing bizarre things now, like thinking of recipes that would ward off vampires. Obviously in England, like, just have some black pudding lying around the place, because clearly that's the breakfast food that will ward them off. Maybe that's the European recipe that inspired blood bread. They thought, you know what, the English have blood pudding. Clearly it's kind of like a bread. Well, not really. It's oats rather than flour. But, you know, it's tasty. Well, it was tasty. I'm vegetarian now, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to ward off evil spirits. Although I do keep little things in my room. I think between being an X-Files and a Supernatural fan, you have to have a little bit of holy water, and I actually found rock salt. I don't know how well these are coming up on the video, but, so yeah. I love being crazy. The podcast is brilliant. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the little things that it keeps reminding me of. Like, I used to have a Scully necklace. Like, my mum's Catholic, she tried to raise us in the church, but wasn't 100% keen, but you know. But I remember one day seeing a tiny little gold cross, and I was like, oh my god, I have to have it. My mum was so happy that I was finally wearing, like, a little sign of, like, my faith. I wasn't wearing a sign of my faith, I was wearing a sign of my devotion to Scully, because apparently I was a Scully cult of one, with my little, like, necklace and my scrapbook and all the other crazy things I did, which I'll get into a bit later. But I remember being sent to Bible camp. Oh, don't go to Bible camp. The most exciting thing that happened in Bible camp is that I was walking through the forest because I was bored of the Bible stuff and decided to go wandering through the woods, and accidentally kicked up a horsefly nest, and the thing swarmed me, and I thought, shit, I am fudging in Darkness Falls. So I go to fudging Bible camp with my Scully necklace and end up in an episode of X-Files. Oh my god, Darkness Falls. I ran screaming through the forest as the flies tried to eat me. Oh, they bite. Little bitchy buggers of things, and they're fat. They bite and they get in your clothes and they get in your hair. Eventually I came out the other end of the forest and kind of fell on the floor and someone found me. I don't know if that's really a fun story, but it was more exciting than the Bible. And I remember having one of our Bible groups, and we're all sitting around talking about who inspires us, who makes us feel like strong, and I'm like, oh, I'm so going to talk about Scully. I'm twiddling my little I have faith in Scully necklace. I was about 14 at the time, going, yeah, I'm going to talk about how inspirational she is, because she's beautiful and strong and intelligent, yet she has faith as well. There was a link to religion. She has her faith, but she's also a scientist, and she also kicks ass, and strong and independent. And as people were going around the group, they were talking about people like their mum and their nan, and I was a bit like, I'm so not going to talk about Scully, because I'm clearly in the wrong place. I never went to church camp again. Instead, I watched lots of X-Files and decided that I was secretly psychic. Interesting childhood. Interesting adulthood. I don't think I might be oversharing. Never mind. So, yeah. So, I had a Scully fetish. Have a Scully fetish, because it's still quite exciting. I had a Scully necklace. I now don't, because, well, I got older and I didn't like gold, basically, and then I got my new necklace, which was my dad's, but when he died I put it on and didn't take it off, so I kind of felt like there's only one cross I can wear, and as much as I love Scully, I have to admit I do like my dad more. But I do get the Scully dad stuff. That's why I think going back and watching certain episodes after everything that's happened in my life is interesting, like that whole she's dying and like her dad comes to visit her and stuff, and it's a strange place. Like, if anyone's ever been into hospital or anything and had surgery, I remember when I was having all my breast lumps removed and stuff, and like, and that moment when you're waiting for results and stuff and thinking like, oh my god, I could be dying, and you're like, those are the times you really need your dad. Like, shit is going down, and my mum's like, got a faith, but I'm not into that, and I was a daddy's girl. I was always after his approval, his respect. He's the one that I was. And I remember, you know, you go to sleep, and then when you wake up, and there's that little fuzzy line between reality and dreams. And I decided that some of my actual nurses were some of the girls from work, and someone was trying to bring me a chicken burger, which is bizarre because I don't eat chicken. So I'm not entirely sure why I was convinced KFC was being delivered to my hospital bed. But like, it's little moments like that you kind of have those zoned out hallucination moments where you feel that someone is around you. And I was glad I had my daddy necklace, because that was my little bit of faith. So I like the fact that I can go back and watch One Breath and kind of go, yeah, you know what? There's unexplainable little things that are very personal to the individual that might happen, and you can have different feelings about it until you've ever been in that place, until you've ever, like, seen it for yourself. You'll never know. And so I'm quite enjoying what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm just rambling now, really. I went from being crazy to being really deep then. Absolutely love the podcast. I'm going to watch a couple more episodes today, so there'll probably be more feedback coming on later. I've probably come across as complete crazy. What other things? Oh, do you know what? I can tell you some other things that make me crazy. My obsession with X-Files got so bad, not only did I have the scrapbook, not only did I have about 5,000 magazines and my walls covered in posters and hats and earrings and cufflinks and t-shirts and watches and a mug. I must have looked at a right state. And some of this started progressing into my teenage years. I was like 15, 16. I remember having X-Files sleepover parties and drinking wine and eating kebabs, and then I don't quite know how the correlation happened there. Oh my god, I was addicted to sunflower seeds. My mum had to keep buying me bags of them so I could go, because, you know, mild rate sunflower seeds, they seem like a good idea. I like seeds. I ate sunflower seeds. I collected all the showcase cards. But the other thing I used to do is, because there was no internet back when I was first watching X-Files, and I'd really like scenes, so I used to remember pausing it on scenes I particularly liked, getting a punched plastic wallet, putting it on the screen with an OHP pen, and tracing the scenes I liked. So therefore I could take them away, and I have a little folder, and I can flick through and look through my favourite scenes. God bless the internet when it finally did come out, and I was like, I can just download X-Files and read fanfiction and just look at what's going on. But yes, so I'm going to stop ranting about crazy things and actually watch some more X-Files. Maybe go to sleep, because, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit like, woo, at the moment. Take care, everybody, and I hope to speak to you more online and start prepping myself and get ready. I think next week is my guest spot. Oh my goodness. Hopefully I'll have slept by then, otherwise I'm going to be the craziest guest you've ever had. Just incoherent rambling, and which is kind of what I'm doing now. So I'm signing off. Bye!